Secondary school is one big struggle. I do all that I can not to get in trouble. If you're late, you get a minus mark. Those rules and regulations tear me apart. No bows in my hair, that's not fair. It's a school fashion police, what can I wear? No homework, automatic detention. Coming up next is comprehension. Comprehension is dull and boring. My school days are spent stretching and yawning.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
I lost my pen one afternoon while sitting in the classroom. The teacher came and gave me the blame and then tarnished my name. A friend came and put me out of shame, lent me a pen so not in trouble again. I've got my pen so I can write, no detention for me tonight.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
I started football as a kid. The manager got new players and had to get rid. I was feeling really low because the manager let me go. Then I discovered football wasn't my thing and I started boxing to be king of the ring. I'm feeling fit and I'm feeling lean and growing stronger. Now I'm living my dream.
On holiday, my brother gave my kitchen away. He said he'd give it to his mate and I tried to get back. It's too late. I was angry and my sister was fuming. My head was booming and I get a new one. It would be the same because I'm losing autumn and I still feel the pain.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
Rabbits and snails were on the menu, on holidays with a beautiful view. Stomach pains, I started to spew. I found my phone was broken and had phone flu. My uncle was acting like a fool, pulled me and my friend our phones into the pool. I asked him to pay up, but he said that's not cool. He's not buying a phone, which is cruel.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
Me and my twin fought like cat and mouse. I couldn't wait for him to leave the house. Suddenly my dream came true. I no longer have to put up with you. One day my twin left home and now I'm on my own. We now have more space to live and I'm feeling positive.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
I played football in year 6, wasn't too good, had to learn some tricks. I worked so hard till I got better. While chilling one day I got the letter for the competition of my dreams. Now look at me, best in the team, 1 goal away from winning the game. I shoot, I scored, the other team is so lame. We won the trophy for our success, then I went home, yes, home to rest.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
Jealousy doesn't get you very far. I was jealous of my sister getting a new car. She passed all her GCSEs and got A's, not C's. I was so mad she does so well, I wish she'd gone to hell. The situation has turned around, she gives me lifts which sound.
We're rearranging and we're changing the way we live. We're changing those negative vibes into a positive.
I'm Issy. I'm from Ghana. My story is entitled, Don't Give Up. It all started like this. I had a son, and then later I met a young man. We fell in love, and I got married. We got married. He was a Nigerian. studying marine engineering in Ghana. So he had to go to sea after he's finished with his course. He went to sea for a while, and later he had to come to the United Kingdom, that is in Liverpool here, to study for his marine engineer's certificate of competency. That means he was going to be here for a while. As a result, I had to join him with our son. I was in Liverpool for a while. We had the second, the third, and then the fourth. We had together, the two of us had 2 sons and 2 daughters. When he had finished with his course, we had to go home. So I'd been here for a while and never visited home. My parents were alive, and I really felt homesick. So we decided, when we chose to go home, this time it wasn't going to be Ghana, but it was going to be Nigeria, as he's a Nigerian. And then the shipping company is a Nigerian national shipping company. As a result, the ships dock longer in Nigeria than in Ghana. That Ghana might only be a transit port if they have goods to deliver. When we got to Nigeria, I didn't stay down south where the ports are, but I chose to go to the north, to live in the north, in a place called Kaduna with his brother. My decision, my choice of this decision was that first and foremost, Nigeria is quite a dangerous place, and a woman cannot live alone with children for too long without any form of protection. That means a man being around. And with the type of job he does, he wouldn't be home for most of the time in a year. So that was a better choice. And then secondly, which was also very important, my husband and the brother were not getting on properly. So I thought living around with his brother will give them the chance to bond, because if we are there, whenever he's home, in the home port, he will definitely come to Kaduna to see the brother, and eventually things will work out better. Initially, it was all right between me and his brother. We were good together. But as time went on, a lot of things happened, and I didn't feel comfortable there, to the extent that me and my children had to find an escape route down south from Kaduna to Lagos. We stayed in Lagos for a while. That is with my husband's consent when he arrived from sea. It was all right. I started working. We settled momentarily. Then after a while, 2 years, things started turning upside down again. And this was a big one. It was my husband and the family on one side, and me alone on the other side. Eventually, my husband filed for divorce and custody of the children. So we had to go to court. I wouldn't give up my children easily. I sought the advice of a Ghanaian solicitor. So he was my representative in court. We had been about 3 times. And the final day, when it was for the final decision, I was told to bring the children with me. So the solicitor, being a Ghanaian, advised me that it would be unwise for me to go to court that day, and especially with the children, because I'll definitely not come back home with the children. So before the day, we escaped, me and my children. We planned, and we went to Ghana. It was quite a treacherous journey, but we managed, by God's grace, and arrived home in Ghana safely. After arrival, there were a lot of problems. The first one was financial, how to settle and then to get the children into schools. There was no free education, so you have to pay school fees. Even in the government school, you have to pay certain amount. You have to buy new uniforms, books, textbooks and exercise books, and the stationery. You've got to buy it yourself. And with 5 children, I couldn't. And therefore, I had to homeschool these kids for almost a whole academic year. Eventually, the eldest, who was my child before marriage, reached secondary school age. That was the time he was supposed to go to secondary school. And I couldn't homeschool him again. It was impossible. But then, before that time, I had started trying to make some money. I'd tried my best to look for jobs, first as a teacher, and then even as an accounts clerk, because I had some qualification. I could go on higher than that, but I thought, let me come to the base. An accounts clerk would do for me for the time being. But I couldn't get any job. So I had started buying ladies' underwears. I go to the big city, buy it in dozens, bring them down to where we were living. It was a port town, not as big as a city, our capital. And then start selling them, hawking them around, go to market women. Wherever I see a group of women selling, I send it to them, sell, and then daily I'll be collecting what they owe me in bets. And then when I've had enough, using some for feeding and other things, when I've had enough to buy a couple of dozens, then I'll go back to the big city. So that's what I was doing. There was this particular place. It was a school I had known. But it was a private school. I'd been selling. So when it was time for the eldest to go to secondary school, I thought he couldn't get into a government secondary school because you have to be in the government secondary school to sit for the common entrance examination in order to be allocated a school. So that was out. He has not been in school. And there was no way I was prepared to leave him at home. So I thought if I go to this particular school, I'll be able to negotiate with the head teacher and be paying the fees in bets after the initial deposit. And that is why this day I went to the headmaster of the secondary school to inquire. On arrival, I was called to his office, sat down with him, and explained my situation to him. He felt a bit sorry for me. Well, after a while, when we had spoken for a while, he looked at me and said, I need a teacher. I said, really? You need a teacher? I said, yes. I said, you sound like a teacher. I said, I was a teacher. And a few questions. Where did you go to college? And so I explained to him. And he said, would you like to teach? I said, what subjects? So he gave me some few subjects which he needed teachers for. So I also picked. I said, I think I'll be able to teach this and that subject. He said, very good. He said, hang on, just put the admission thing aside. Because when you get employment here, you are entitled, 2 of your children are entitled to free schooling here. So let's put that aside and let's sort out the teaching bit. And that was it. Bring your application tomorrow. So I did so. And I got a job. And that was a moment I couldn't have dreamt of.
As I say, 35 years. She was 18 when I think I was 40. I was in the 40, like so. And I'm 75 now. She's 35 years with her, like you know. So sometimes it comes to my mind, like to marry, like, but next time again say. But you can live with somebody like in peace and love and everything like. But when you do get married, you're gone that way and you're gone that way. It's still the same like your girlfriend run off there and your boyfriend run off there. So some women doesn't like it at all. Men doesn't like it the same. You know, your wife out there messing around or, you know. So it works both ways. We have the same balance at the moment, you know. So I never think deep down in myself to get married to her. You know, if she was here, you know, me talking like that, she would be, you know, long her face up and make some funny sounds. So, I said, leave it out of it, like, you know, I will live with her for the rest of my life if God help, you know, but I don't know about the marriage yet, true. There's so many nice people, but I think she's still the nicest, some of it, you know. She keep me in one line, you know. No more running around, you know. So that is a good part of my life, and, you know, I realize that why dash away life like this, and, you know, with or mess with somebody else, like, you learn these things again, isn't it? It's cool you go in and you learn these things. You learn to write, you learn to read and everything like so. The marriage is the same thing, and if you can keep a good head, not because I'm sick, loads of people out there still go to bed with me, you know what I mean? If they not tonight, I say, all right, leave it until tomorrow. And you change your mind. They say, oh, you know, because people funny, you know, women funny, men funny, you know, so. You don't force yourself to have certain relationship with women. So, you know, you just take it easy. Like, Gota is a partner, really, you know. So, it is nice. Don't follow my footstep or your dad's footstep. Well, you go through that yourself already, girls. But now is the time that you settle down and you do a little job and whatever. I can't say nothing more. He was in the club as well, you know, and she said to me, she didn't know me name, but I have a few friends, you know, who was in the club. Like, I used to go have a Caribbean center down on Pali. Well, it closed down, just unfortunately it closed down. So we used to go out one round by the lane, Lodge Lane, bottom, like. She said to me, like, Shotty, have you got some Rizla for I smoke rollies, you know. I don't take no drugs and all these things. So I look on her like that. And I say, all right. So I ask one of my friend if he have some Rizla. So I give to her. And from that, believe it to God. That was it. Me leave my first girl, me leave other girls, and me leave other girls. And right now, 35 years. And say, thank God. So it's in the club again, you know, these things do happen. It breaks my heart sometimes, you know, that means I do the dirtiness on the first girlfriend, like, you know, but it still come out, and I don't know if I will still with them, like, have different girls, but at the moment, it's one-on-one.